probably get some like little sponsor ads thing.
We should probably do that. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea at all.
You think so?
Yeah. Who do you want to give an advertisement for? I could probably tell you a few. Do you know there's only 3 seats left at the Drew General Transport next CDL class that starts April 15th?
Okay.
So if you want to get in there, you better be calling and registering.
Nice.
Call DMV tomorrow because you have to have your permit now prior to taking the CDL class. So you can't, used to be that you could get it during, and you can't do that anymore. You have to get it prior to. So if you wanted to get into that class, you'd have to call DMV like right away so that you made sure that that was done. And then if you want to get in on this next class that starts April 15th, you need to call Tracy at 802-279-3325.
There's the advertisement I was looking for.
There you go.
And welcome to the Barry Beat podcast, live from Fly on the Wall Production Studios, Main Street, Barry, Vermont.
You almost said fry on the wall.
I know.
And I mean, I feel it tonight, though. I feel fried. I really do. It's been a Monday, 100%.
I'm not going to lie. It's been a rough day as well. It's been a little busy, and, you know, it is what it is. It's going to be a short night, though.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have a ton to talk about.
No, nothing that will get us into too much trouble.
Well, speak for yourself, because we all know that I always say something that rattles somebody's cage.
She's the saber cage rattler.
Yeah.
That's
I try.
Okay. That's why we like you.
Yeah. I try.
So how you doing, Raylene?
I'm doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good?
Yeah. Just picked up my tax return. I only owe the government $500,
Oh,
you know.
Nice.
On a Monday. Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Could have been worse, right?
Could have been.
Yeah.
I thankfully I've never had to owe because I don't make enough to do that, and I don't do well. So I don't do like. The only thing that I was doing for a while was the council stipend.
Yeah.
And that was like annoying me for my taxes.
Uh-huh.
So I no longer do the stipend.
Right. You just say, here, have it. Yeah. I don't want to deal with it.
I don't want to deal with it.
Well, here, I subcontract. I don't work for
Which makes it difficult.
JD. I subcontract and am the producer and do all these other great things. And so at the end of the year, you know, I got to pay in just like everybody else does.
I'm sorry.
I just do it all at once.
The real question is, how do the people that get like $10,000-$15,000 back?
I don't know.
That's what I would like to do.
Does that really happen?
It does. It does happen. People can get really, really high.
That's
returns.
insane to me.
But
that's absolutely crazy to me. I can't even imagine.
I think it was because of the child credit stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And since I can't claim.
Well,
Leah
even then, I don't ever remember getting a return anything near that. Like,
well, that was
like
before
$1,200 a year, something like that when my kids were real little.
Let's be honest, that was
a hot minute ago.
Away.
Yeah, because my kids are 32 and 34. I know. Whatever, Michael.
Anyway, moving on so I don't get you too angry with me.
I won't get angry.
Excited about city council tomorrow night?
I'm not not excited. I'm excited at the thought of progressing as far as housing goes and more discussion, and that makes me happy.
Nice.
Any forward movement like that makes me happy. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, on the consent agenda, we have the ratification of council approval to accept the RBCC petition signatures with March 5th due date. So what happened was the Rainbow Bridge Community Center had gotten signatures under the old assumption that the town meeting day was going to be March 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And so changed the date. We changed the rules. So they came before, Adam Jacobs came before the council on Tuesday last week and said, hey, you changed the rules. And
please
he
let
didn't
us
say it
count
like this.
our.
He didn't say it like, hey, you changed the rule. He was just,
You're right.
We said that it's fine.
Right. He said, please allow the 150 we've already collected, which that definitely was not an absurd request.
No,
I think that anybody would have made that same request. Yep. I mean, it is what it is. It all changed, and everybody has had to kind of step and fetch this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then authorize the manager to sign the contract with BD Roofing. And they're going to redo the I think it's the membrane. 1 minute, hold up. Repair. They're going to do some repairs on the roof of the Barre Auditorium. Mm-hmm. And they're also going to do some repairs on the subway walkway. So that walkway between Exile and Subway, I guess it's been leaking. So and that's owned by the city. So we're going to fix that.
That's good.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to cost about $28,000, and we decided to do both of them because the city manager decided to do both of them at the same time because there was a discount for it.
Right. That makes perfect sense to get it. And really, that's two very small jobs, considering what they really need, what is really needed. Look at the DBW building. I mean, those poor people over there. So I think that's a good move.
Yeah.
And that walkway is used a lot.
It is. It does get a little sketchy in there, though. In my opinion, could take it for what it's worth. Mm-hmm. And I'm going down to, you want to talk about our favorite conversation?
Are you going to talk about 16 and 17-year-olds voting? Are you? Are you really? You're being serious? All right, go ahead.
All right. So 16 and 17-year-olds, we've got that for the charter changes. So this is not the official warning. I believe the official warning will be on the 11th, which is next week, not this coming week. And people can barely hear me because I'm keep on looking around because this monitor is in the worst spot that it could possibly be in.
For you, yeah.
For me, because You're
not looking underneath the arm of the mic.
No. So this is what I have to do to look at the screen because I'm not short.
Listen, I sympathize with you because when I sit over there, I go through the same thing, and I just laugh though because, I know, but that's the thing is because it's a clear view for him.
Yeah, well, I'm not an Oompa Loompa. Oompa Loompa. So I have to go like this. So I'm like going like this as I'm So what I need to do is I need to go like this. And
we need to just get you a shorter chair.
I could get it. I could get a shorter chair.
Yeah.
Could get a shorter chair. Or we could give him a taller chair.
Yeah, something. But man, that's what it is.
Drives me nuts.
He can see underneath the arm.
Yeah, I cannot see underneath the arm. I'm like looking at the arm. Anyway, so yes,
Poor
we've
Michael.
got the charter changes, which, again, it's not the official warning. It's going to be discussing for
whether or not it's on the ballot, or is it already going to be on the ballot?
Well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, based on what was said last time, I'm pretty sure it's going to be on the ballot, the charter changes for the 16, 17-year-olds. What really upsets me, though, is that we're not going to be able to add on there. Maybe not. I don't know. Nicholas was very much interested in the modifying the town meeting date to May, which is what it was prior to 2008, and It helps with budgeting and everything else. So
Yeah, and it coincides with the town.
Yep.
It just, I mean, makes a lot of sense, especially because you do things together. The town funds a lot of things that the city funds. The Washington County Mental Health, the Barre Partnership. When the partnership asked for money, Barre Area Development asked for money.
Yep.
Washington County Mental Health.
Well, that's true.
All of them, you all chime in together, and so.
Library.
Yeah, I mean, the money goes both ways.
Makes sense.
So to me, it would make sense that you all vote on the same day. And really, what does it hurt? As long as everybody is aware of that. Yeah.
I just want to let JD know that I moved
The microphone.
the
Yeah.
microphone.
It's all right. So that you
And-
can see. It's okay.
You can deal with
I'll
it.
protect you.
You'll protect me?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Central Vermont Home Health and
I'll
Hospice.
just-
That's
yep.
right.
Thank you, Heather.
So many people. So I don't see where that would be an issue. I would think that would be a great thing.
And then we've got the assign the ADA charge to the Jedi B committee, which I didn't see that in the packet. And that's something that we'll have to have Michael speak on, which he's not here, so he will not be speaking on that.
Okay.
And then, of course, a conversation about the meeting times, because a couple weeks ago, the council voted to meet every week on the off weeks to discuss primarily housing. And it looks like the mayor wants to change that schedule, I think, based on the action memo. Or was that the one that didn't have an action memo? I can't remember. Because one of them didn't have an action memo.
Why? What is wrong with meeting every week when we are up to our eyeballs in
That one did have an
catastrophe?
action memo. It just said provide direction on off-week meeting schedule as well as immediate meeting schedule and in April. So not sure what the desired outcome of that is. Oh, wait a minute. It says it's the manager, not the...
Well, it said the mayor in my packet. It said the
Yeah,
mayor.
Well, the action memo was created by the manager, it looks like. So he probably did it.
Meeting once a week is a really great idea. Right now, there's a lot of stuff to do, and meeting once a month or even bi-weekly just isn't enough right now. That's my opinion.
Are you
and
sticking to it?
And I think I absolutely am sticking to it. And I think that that's why it was brought up. I believe that it was brought up because Tom believes the same thing. And that's why he put it forth, was that he was going to be there every Tuesday at 6:00. And those that wanted to join him could, but it was not mandatory. Yep. So that's how that went down.
So one of the other things on the agenda is housing actions, housing development incentive programs, and discussion of state incentive proposal to benefit the North End redevelopment. And there's actually in the packet an email, I think it's a draft email, which is associated with it. And of course it's Tom, which again, I have no problem admitting that I'm a sycophant for the man. I think he's amazing, and I just think we need him. So
we absolutely need him. We need a path forward, and that's the path forward right there. We've seen it happen over and over again in this city, and love him or hate him, you cannot deny the fact that he gets shit done. Period.
Absolutely.
And there are people that don't like him. I can't fathom that, but there are people that do not like him, and I have my opinions about that too. But he gets shit done. period. And that is one thing that nobody can deny. He knows how to do it. He has a Rolodex that most of us wish we had even a quarter of. He has the connections. He has the know-how. And that's the thing. When he tells you that you could build this or that, or he knows the cost of this, he truly does.
Yeah.
He could go out there and work beside them, which he has done that before too, because he knows. And I don't see a lot of other people stepping up to the plate that could do that.
Yeah. No, I agree. So he's got an email. Oh, excuse me. So he's got an email here that is going to be sent to the senators and representatives.
Mm-hmm.
I hope this note finds you all well. I'm writing to ask for some assistance with crossover mere days away. And for those that don't know what crossover is, that is the day that if it's not on the docket to be voted on in the State House, it's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's crossover mere days away. I'm writing to present the attached relief/assistance program for Barre City and perhaps other hard-hit municipalities in the hope it can be advanced on some level. Barre is hurting badly, and we need help. As you are aware, in terms of both residential and commercial property damage, Barre City was one of the hardest hit communities in Vermont during the July 10 and 11 flooding event. To offer some statistics, approximately 400 residential and commercial structures sustained some level of damage during the July 10 and 11 flooding event. Hundreds of residents were permanently or temporarily displaced. Barre City has accepted and is currently reviewing over 50 requests for building owners for a full FEMA buyout. These buyout requests represent millions of loss assessment dollars on an already shrinking grand list. The Board of Civil Authority, which he's a member of and sitting on, has approved dozens of requests for full and partial property tax abatement. Due to the sheer volume of damaged properties, the review and approval of a new abatement request will continue well into the future. Barre City was fortunate to be awarded $1 million in assistance under the Budget Adjustment Act. I am grateful. We are grateful. Truly. But with my gratitude comes the realization that while our citizens will be spared with unsustainable 20 cents property tax increase in our 2024 and 2025 budget, the expenses and loss of property tax revenue will continue for conservatively 3 to 5 years unless we can backfill the loss of revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly speaking, I don't see the state of Vermont offering seven-figure assistance to flood-stricken municipalities during the next legislative session. I understand full well Vermont's own fiscal challenges. In summary, I've never been more concerned about Barre's future. I've been proudly serving my city for decades. My administration guided Barre City through the 2011 and 2015 flood events, but 2023 was much, much more severe. Barre has permanently lost housing units, permanently lost grand list value, and has been unable to move potential housing projects forward in a predictable and meaningful way. The sole reason we have been unable to move potential housing project forward is cost. I understand the unprecedented increase in building cost is not a problem that is unique to Barre City. Having said that, I would argue the increase in housing costs coupled with the level property damage and with the level of property damage and the loss of housing units is unique to Barre City. As I write, I am convinced that without a unique, bold, and meaningful program to buy down the upfront cost of building workforce and missing middle housing units, it will take Barre decades to recover from the 2023 flood event. 100% accurate on that.
Mm-hmm.
Accordingly, I am writing to ask for your assistance in effecting the following. With acknowledgement of the 2023 flood event, additional 2-year extension on Barre's tax increment financing district, which is the TIF that everybody talks about.
Right.
So for those that don't know what the TIF is, the TIF, there's a section of downtown Barre that if development happens in there, the money is used to, well, okay, let me rephrase that. So we can take out loans, the city can, with anticipation of a specific development project that would pay more money in taxes. So we take out a loan, we fix the infrastructure to pave the way for whatever development there is, and then that development pays taxes and pays that loan off, and it's through the ed fund. You know, and I know a lot of people get indigestion over that, but the fact is that the change in infrastructure is what makes that increase in grand list value, which, and how long it takes to pay that off, that money will then start going to the ed fund and start building that up. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there and you wouldn't be getting the extra money. So that's the TIF for those that don't know about that. And I hope that explained it. If it didn't, please pop it in the comments and I can certainly try my best to answer the questions.
Right.
An amendment to Barre's TIF district that would allow it to negotiate property tax stabilization agreements within its existing TIF district. Now, I know that that's going to cause some upsetness for folks, but when we talk about the TIF district, we have to think about, or when we talk about development, we have to think about those costs up front and what the tax stabilization within the TIF district would allow the city to work with those costs in dealing with it. Creation of an additional TIF district on Barre's north end, which is pretty simple. North end having a TIF district, which would, be amazing. Which has been described as ground zero of the 2023 flooding event.
I would agree with that statement. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. The creation of a tax anticipation housing grant program to support the development of workforce and middle housing units in Barre City. You are no doubt familiar with items 1 through 3 on my list. Item 4 may be less familiar to you. That's because I developed this program and do not believe a similar program exists. But it's what Barre, and perhaps other communities, need. I have attached an outline of the program and am happy to offer an explanation. We all know that the biggest barrier to housing construction at this moment is cost. Period. Full stop. I'm adding in the full stop. While there are lesser barriers, such as the ability to finance or permitting obstacles, at this moment, cost is the biggest contributor to our housing crisis. If we cannot come up with a creative way to drive costs down, we won't be successful. It's just that simple. The attached program would be available to anyone from a homeowner building a duplex, owner-occupied, to a developer building a 60-unit multifamily dwelling. It would buy down the upfront cost of building by advancing the equivalent of 10 years' worth of property taxes to the homeowner and developer. So we probably stop there. Is that any questions on that, folks? So basically what we're saying is, or not what we're saying, what Tom is saying is that the increase in the grand list value, the taxes that they would pay would be given to them up front.
Right.
Sort of like what we did for the Ward 5 school, where we gave $250,000 to Ward 5 to get them downstreet. Oh, right. Yeah, sorry, downstreet to get them so that they could build the 9 apartments in that building.
Right.
And that is basically a 17-year program because we don't get the return on investment until 17 years from now.
Right.
So it's very similar, except for
Not as long.
not as long as
Mm-hmm.
not as long. So
And
yeah,
it fixes a lot more. It makes a lot more people whole. This plan.
yeah,
It really
this-
does.
I mean, based on this, I mean, you could get a huge development and do way more than just 9 units.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, it's very much like the TIF. And I'm a big proponent of the TIF. I was there when it was created. I supported it then. I support it now. And, I support tax stabilization with the caveat you don't touch the ed fund.
Right.
Because with that, I've always voted no on all the tax stabilizations
Mm-hmm.
except for one, which was a long time ago and complicated. But the problem with any type of tax stabilization that includes the ed fund is that the state of Vermont is like, we're still getting our money. So it's spread out amongst the rest of the community. But yeah, so. All right. Did that make any sense?
It made perfect sense to me.
All right.
Again, a path forward. And
forward.
thought and creation of all of this. And he didn't just come up with that in a day, I'm sure.
Oh, no, he's been talking about this for
Exactly.
quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say that I'm assuming he's going to ask council to support this. Hopefully the council will support it because it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm not going to lie. The way that this is set up here is really confusing because when I want to swap back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
I have to look over this way so everybody
No, you
sees
don't.
me
Just
look
hit your
over that
space
way.
bar.
Does it work that way? No, it doesn't work
Oh,
that way for me.
It works that way for us.
Well, la-di-da.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't work for me that way. I wish it did.
Poor Michael.
I know. Life is tough for me.
Yeah.
Tough. Just so tough. Anyway.
So that is the agenda for this week, for tomorrow.
Partial. I mean, there's also we're gonna end the ARPA community things, like the there was several things that we did an ARPA ARPA community innovation fund projects, right, where we were asking folks to come to the council for money to do nifty things within our community. The flood changed everything.
Right. You
You
can't
know.
do nifty
No.
things now.
No.
And I hope that everybody would know and understand that. I would hope that no one thinks their nifty things should be priority over housing, but I would hope. But
Yeah.
we'll see, I guess, right? Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one nifty thing, though, and this has
Okay.
nothing to do with ARPA. This has everything to do with the hard work and perseverance of others, and that is the turf that up at the BOR. And so you can go visit there on this weekend on the 6th. Check it out. Go up, all kinds of things they're talking about being able to do up there on the turf. I think it's really cool that they're talking about it maybe even just being a space to walk, kind of like they do up at the mall, for people to go up and have a flat, safe space, rain, sleet, snow, whatever, to walk. I think the whole thing is awesome, and I am so happy that went through and that they were able to raise those funds and get that done. I think it's going to be a super addition to the city and to the auditorium. I know it makes lots of people very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we also have, let's see, what else?
I don't know, but you better spice it up a little bit because we're boring the shit out of people.
We're boring.
We 9 people, then 14, then 7 people, then
I know it's terrible.
up and down. Like, oh my
Oh
god.
well,
we're gonna
I
go to
mean,
sleep,
we could
Michael.
talk about the one thing that you're going to be very excited about. Should we talk to Raylene about the thing that she's going to be excited about?
Which is the voting? Is that what you're talking about?
Planning Commission?
What about it?
The meeting every bi-weekly?
So, personally, I wasn't a part of the original email chain that was sent by Mayor Hemrick. We, thankfully, some of us were included in the email through Nicholas, who thought that the planning commission as a whole should know what's going on and be able to weigh in on it. And the fact that it was said that we are having a hard time having a quorum is news to me. I didn't think that we ever had those issues. I certainly don't know about people missing lots of meetings. I've only ever missed one, and that was the day I had my retina surgery.
How dare you miss a meeting
I know.
because you went into a surgery?
I know. I don't think that having them bi-weekly is going to help us at all. It's certainly not going to push anything faster than it's pushing it right now. I think that if the mayor has that much concern, that maybe he should start attending our meetings as well, since he has time. So, and a lot of us have a lot of other things on our plate. And the commitment when we took the position, volunteered for the position, is 1 meeting per month. And then outside of all of that, and most importantly, to even ask that of Janet blows my mind. How many other meetings does she do a week? How many hats does that woman wear already? And I don't know about you, but burning her out sounds like a real stupid idea because we need her. When it comes to, I mean, I can't tell you how many times a week I hear, I don't know, but let me check with Janet. Or I don't know, let me check with Carol. And how much are we going to continue to really push their envelope? I mean, come on.
I'll say this.
It's just not okay.
We will be very, 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 just as a side note, we would be very lost without both of them.
I totally agree. And I really worry about that happening. I really worry about saying to Janet, can you do 2 of these a month instead of just 1? I mean, come on. And it's not going to change anything. That's the thing. If I felt like, we needed to do that to make this housing stuff or the Tom's initiatives or anything like that, if we needed to do more meetings to make all of that happen, or a special meeting to make all of that happen, sure, absolutely. But that's not what this is.
Wow. Is that your 2 cents?
Yeah.
For what it's worth?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, good news.
Mm-hmm.
Really good news. Do you want to guess what today is?
It's April Fool's Day.
But you know it's not a joke?
What?
The parking ban has been lifted.
Yes, I told about that this morning, but we should keep an eye on it in case the city needs to request from us to stay off the street on Wednesday and Thursday this week. Because
Very
we do
true.
have a storm coming in, and even though the parking ban has been lifted, you should be courteous and you should pay attention, because we all know that they are going to need to remove the snow if it does in fact snow. And we all know that somebody's going to have their car out there and it's going to get snow packed around it from the plow going out and around it. And then they're going to be pissed off because their car got plowed in and da 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 da. So to avoid all of that, Just pay attention and listen.
But you know what we're supposed to have for weather on Monday? Ooh.
It's supposed to be nice out Monday.
We're going to get next Wednesday, we're going to get up to 57 degrees.
I know.
See that? 57 degrees.
But we're talking about this Wednesday, Michael. Wednesday and Thursday, we could have a snow event. I don't think it's going to do all that much here, but just in case, pay attention.
Did you go to the Easter? No, you didn't go to the Easter egg hunt.
I did not.
You did not. It was Stephanie's last Easter egg hunt.
I know. I saw her name and her thank yous and congratulations on the Washington World signboard down here on the Barre Montpelier Road. So if you haven't seen that yet, you should check it out. They have a little message to her on the signboard. But yeah, I heard that it was her last.
It was their last day. It was also Jeff Bergeron's last day. So Jeff is he's finally retired, and now I got to try to convince him to come out of retirement.
Living the dream.
He's living the dream in retirement.
Yeah.
Now I need to get him to run for council.
Yeah, he's gonna say, "Yeah, right, Michael. Go to hell, Michael."
He was on council for.
I know,
a
but
while
I can hear him now. He's like, "No freaking way, Michael. You're out of your mind. You lost your mind, Michael."
Hey, I gotta try.
I mean, come on.
I know.
What word is he in?
Technically mine.
Oh.
Or technically, I don't know. I'll say this:
we're gonna have to find out.
If
before
Steve
you torment
McKenzie decided to run, or if he decided to run, I would absolutely step down and I would endorse 100%.
Yeah.
They're really great. We've got the solar eclipse on Monday.
I know this.
Are you excited? 1 week away.
You know, not really.
No, you're not excited.
I'm not
about
that like. Okay.
What?
You know, whatever. It's. I mean, I'll go outside and on my porch and check it out, whatever. But, I guess I don't know. Stupid shit like that doesn't really.
You're not excited about the solar eclipse?
No.
Why aren't you excited about it?
I don't know. Because I'm an asshole. I don't know.
Guess so.
I don't know.
Terrible. I'll be
Maybe
honest.
it's because I'm sick to death of hearing about it. So by the time it gets here, it's like, oh my God, how much more I can't wait until it's over. It's kind of like listening to the crap that's going on over in England. You know, the prince this and the prince that and the this, that, and the queen this and the queen
Nobody
that.
cares
And,
about the
somebody's
prince.
going to have a baby.
Or the
and
queen. Nobody cares.
On and on and on. And yeah, or what Beyonce's doing, or, you know, it's when they start talking about something and it's just ad nauseum, and then by the time it gets here, I'm like, oh my God, will you just be over already?
They do have solar eclipse glasses for $3 at the Barre Partnership.
I saw that.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I did see that.
I'm just gonna say that if you're in the Barre area, make sure you make it out there to watch the solar eclipse.
Right,
It's
whether it be
one-time-
downtown Barre
Yeah.
or whether you just watch it from home.
Just make sure you're within the line of totality,
Right,
because
and that you have classes.
Again, I'll make the comment that I've made before.
You mean so maybe I won't be in the line at home?
You might not be, actually.
And you think
Raylene,
what?
let me just tell you.
I have to be home to
have you
protect
ever
my
experienced
dogs.
it? Have you ever experienced the
No,
eclipse?
but they say that it could bother the animals. I don't want my poor babies to be home alone.
Your dogs can handle it. They can suck it up, okay? They can suck it up. My dog is going to suck it up.
You're telling me I should drive downtown?
Yeah.
All right.
I do think you should drive downtown. You
All
should
right.
be down here.
Just because you asked, I will.
Yeah. So, again, I've stated
Where
it
are you
multiple
gonna be?
times. Somewhere here. Somewhere down here, because I'm going to experience that. I experienced it in St. Louis like 5 years ago, and I am going to experience it again. It is a once in a lifetime, and Michael's got it twice.
Once in a lifetime. I just read an article about a guy. This is his fifth one. He's 105, but still.
Why are you gonna ruin my steam on that? It's his fifth time.
Well,
fifth time.
It is. I'm just telling you.
I don't know. whatever. I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Is there anything else on there to discuss?
No.
Okay.
No.
A
But
congressionally moved
let's
provision-
whip it
let's-
to the
yeah.
school board really
But we
quick and
could-
say that where we're at with that. I
Oh,
mean,
they-
you guys did 6-hour freaking meeting on Wednesday night, which was absolutely absurd and insane. You could not reach consensus. You had to break tie, even though you really didn't want to, and you had discussed that, and you were hoping for better. But that isn't the way it turned out, and so you took the wheel and you drove that sucker home.
Okay.
Right?
It was 6 hours, but I think it was a long meeting. I'm not going to deny that,
Oh
but
my
I think
gosh,
that
I
it
don't know
was
how you guys do it.
a process that needed to be done.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I agree with it. It's a process that needed to be done, but I have no idea how you guys do it. I really don't. And it probably could have happened a lot smoother if you could have had a little more agreement and not so much snittiness.
Well,
Less pissing matches, more work. I can say it. You don't have to say it. I can say it because that's the way
Connie,
I feel about it.
So Connie's asking, so the budget did get, yes. The budget, so there was the budget was approved at
10.2%.
10.2% and then removing additional tax stabilization.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it brings it down somewhere in the 9s.
Mm-hmm.
So it was halfway between the 11.6 and the
6.5.
6.5. And at that point it felt like, yeah.
You were
it
definitely
was-
not going to move any further. No
Yeah.
one was moving any further than where they moved. And definitely there were some compromises made. There were some good compromises made and a good effort. It was just that it's a lot
Yeah.
for sure. And I can't imagine.
Gianni says 6 hours, it's more of an interrogation versus a meeting.
Well,
It does feel like,
That after
it does
a while,
feel occasionally like torture.
it definitely
Although,
does get pretty intense.
I did threaten. I said, listen, folks, I can be here all night.
I know. I heard.
But
I heard.
yeah, it was, hopefully we'll see what happens when it goes to the vote.
We will.
And, it's
I
up to
still
the people
think-
to decide.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to say yes to even that. It's still a lot.
And before we go, I'll just drop a stink bomb and then we'll take off. And the last thing that I'm going to mention about tomorrow night's meeting, intermunicipal wastewater and water agreements. Good night, folks. Thank you for watching the Barry Beat podcast live from Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street, Barry, Vermont. You definitely tune in for that conversation because I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night.
Okay. Sounds good. See you there.
All right. Thanks, folks, for watching. And we'll see you probably next week because we got another
Yeah.
council meeting and
Yeah.
a school board
Although
meeting.
it'll be the night of the eclipse. So
Oh,
provided that we can move around and there aren't thousands of people here like is being said and all of our cameras and computers and cell phones and all that are working, we'll be here. But if, horrible things happen because of this eclipse, it's Michael's fault. And for making us come down here, we won't be here in the studio. We'll see. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see if all hell
Sure.
breaks loose or if it's just a beautiful night.
it'll be a beautiful night.
Okay.
All right. Good night, folks. Thank you for watching.